Eggs are not good for you. They're great for you. I fucking love eggs. I love eating the whole life force of an animal and consuming it in one fell swoop. But it seems like some people might not agree with me. You see, one of the biggest bullshit myths in fitness is actually that eggs are bad for you. Eggs are supposedly bad for you. They'd say this about 40 years ago, 30 years ago. Eggs are bad for you because they contain fat. And fat makes you fat, which is also bullshit. McDonald's and Big Macs make you fat. Fat doesn't make you fat. Another thing that they'll try and talk about, they'll say that because eggs have cholesterol, they'll lead to higher cholesterol levels. That's simply not the case. Dietary cholesterol intake and blood cholesterol levels are completely two different things. Remember, in the first place, there's two different types of cholesterol levels. There's your LDL and there's your HDL. And they've shown in studies that in over 70% of the population, eggs or cholesterol in general, dietary cholesterol intake has no effect on your blood cholesterol levels. However, in about 30% of the population, so the more minority of people, they have found that it does raise blood cholesterol levels, but your HDL, which is your good cholesterol. So if anything, eating dietary cholesterol or sources like eggs or liver will help increase your good cholesterol, which makes your overall cholesterol level better for you. The net summary of that bullshit is that eating eggs can help your cholesterol levels. What a fucking concept. Dietary cholesterol intake is very important to help maintain your cell walls, insulate your nerve fibers, and as well help produce vitamin D. This shit's important. On top of that shit, eggs are the purest source of protein you can find in nature. It's the most readily absorbed and it's the most bioavailable in nature. So eggs are simply the best. Fuck you, Wonder Bread. So eggs are sexy. They don't raise your cholesterol levels, or in the minority of people that they do raise cholesterol levels, it actually improves it in a positive way. So now that we know that eggs are sexy, what should we do with these eggs? Now it's time for all your excellent questions. That was a corny as fuck joke, but I'm just gonna keep rolling right here. We want to establish a couple things here. First question would probably be, what are the healthiest sources of eggs, or the healthiest type? Honestly, if you want me to give you the honest answer, pasture-raised omega-3 enriched eggs are your best sources. Pasture-raised means that the chickens, which have the eggs, were consuming insects and grass during their life, so it has much healthier nutrient profile. Now, honestly, it's pretty hard to come across pasture-raised omega-3 enriched eggs. You'll have to go out to probably your local farmer, and you'll know it's right if all the eggs are kind of fucked up and they look different and a couple have different spots and so forth. Those are real eggs. You'll really enjoy the flavor. But for the vast majority of people that are city slickers such as myself and don't have access to Hip Town all the way out there, your best source would either be omega-3 enriched eggs if you have the budget for it, or you could just simply consume normal eggs. There's nothing wrong with commercial eggs. Next question, what's the most amount of eggs that you should eat in one day? Like everything else, there's a limit to everything, right? You cannot consume 1,000 pounds of broccoli because your stomach will explode from gas and you will die. I would always recommend an upper limit for any nutrient you consume because you don't want your body to adapt it and develop an intolerance. So I'm going to give you great general rules for whole eggs. In terms of whole eggs, women should consume on average, you can consume 2 to 4 eggs safely a day. For men, you consume anywhere between 4 to about 7 eggs on a daily basis. For egg whites, you can consume as many as you want. They're totally separate than the whole egg recommendations I was making. The egg whites just contain the pure protein. Go ahead and get down and consume all you want of that. The other question I get asked is there a best way to eat your eggs? And the honest truth is, eating your eggs any which way is fine. Don't worry about that. Just focusing on the small, incorrect things. Just get your eggs in you. Last question is, should you eat eggs raw? I've joked before and I consume raw eggs, but those have been organic eggs which don't have as high of a level of salmonella in them. I would never recommend consuming raw eggs or pulling a fucking Rocky on me and finding out you're in the hospital afterwards, because in consuming raw eggs, there's about a 1 in 10 to 30,000 chance that you develop salmonella and you can actually die. So I would never recommend eating raw eggs for my young fans. The summary of this video is that eggs are sexy for you. Go ahead, get down, girl, consume your eggs. You should know a couple things too. Before you suspect that any bro science is going on, I'm just talking out of my ass. I've painstakingly compiled a whole bunch of research and data that definitively proves that eggs consumed in moderate quantities are not bad for you at all. And if anything, they're very healthy for you. So check out the links in the description. They're very informative, very helpful, and I think this will settle the egg debacle. As a completely side note, when I first started working out, my cholesterol levels were alright. Well, after consistently eating about 6 or more eggs a day for the last 4 years, my cholesterol levels have gone from average to beyond stellar. So take that.